Dear Diary, I don't know what the crap is going on, but everything is going nuts. Am I causing this? Am I crazy? Is this just high school? The Netflix original series I'm Not Okay With This is now streaming, but should it be on your watch list? Sydney is an awkward teenage girl learning to navigate high school, relationships, family drama, and her newfound superpowers. This feels a tiny bit like Chronicle, where we follow some teenagers who discover they have superpowers, but it also feels like a more mature Raising Dion, which is also on Netflix. This is based off of a comic book, but I haven't read it, so I can't tell you whether or not it sticks to the source material or not. The superhero angle of this makes it fun because we get to watch Sid try and figure out what her powers are, what they mean, how to control them, even what they do. You may recognize them from It. Sophia Lillis and Wyatt Olaf play Sid and Stanley, and they've got some really good chemistry together. They're fun to watch, and Stanley especially, he brings this weirdness to him, this offbeat, kind of doesn't care. I mean, he goes to the beat of his own drum type of thing. When we first meet him, he's barefoot, wearing some slacks, and I don't know, he's kind of quirky, and he really does grow on you. Sid is more of the moody girl. We learn in the first 2 minutes that her dad has died, and so that has thrown her family into a little bit of a turmoil. Now there's this internal dialogue narration that Sid does that really brings us into the story. She's talking to us, but really she's talking to a diary that her guidance counselor encourages her to write in. And because of this, it really helps with the flow of the show. I mean, we get introduced things, we are told about different aspects of just her life, but it also doesn't feel awkward or forced when she's doing it because it automatically starts that way and it feels very natural. I like that because we're like the diary that she's writing to. I mean, she's talking to us. I like that gives us even more information, gives us insight, and just makes us privy to some of her inner workings that not everybody else knows, not even her best friends. The visuals in this are pretty good. They don't overdo it with the special effects, but they don't skimp on it either. So what we see is good, but they use them sparingly and appropriately. Now, personally, I really liked the soundtrack also. There were multiple songs where I was like, yeah, okay, singing along a little bit. There's even a little bit of Bonnie Tyler in there too. Because this is centered around high school students, it's not weird that they have nods to other high school themed films, kind of like Breakfast Club. It fits, it works well, and for those of us that are fans of those movies, it's even better. This whole first season is really a setup for what's to come. It establishes the characters, lets us just know who they are, lets us root for them, lets us figure out who we don't like, and really gets us set into the story. And it really endears us to Sydney. Even though she is a little rough around the edges, you get to see her struggle, and as she deals with everything that she's got going on. I mean, the death of her father, the realization that she has superpowers, and then all of the high school crap that just goes along with high school. There is a lot of teenage angst in this, but as the wise Ferris Bueller said, it's a little childish and stupid. But then again, so is high school. But that's the really good thing about this show. It's not childish or stupid. It's just a lot of fun. Now, I didn't know what to expect with this going in. There is a lot of crude language in it, but aside from that, if you can get past that, the show is fun to watch. It's only 7 episodes long, and each of them are only 20 to 30 minutes, with most of them being at the very low 20-minute mark. So to sit down and binge the entire thing is going to take you less time than it did to watch Endgame. There's no sex or nudity, but there is sexual dialogue. There is a lot of crude language in this, and a moment of extreme graphic violence. And it made me chuckle. So I don't know what that says about me. I give I Am Not Okay With This 4.5 out of 5 couches. So if you had superpowers, would you keep them secret so nobody else would know? Or would you just tell everybody like Tony Stark did? I am Iron Man. Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for catching with me. And yes, I also know that Tony Stark didn't actually have superpowers. He had a suit and the little arc reactor in his chest. So there we go. Don't hate me in the comments.